Hi guys, welcome back to Hairdryer Treatment with me, Soph. I'm joined by Meg for the Soph and Meg show, our weekly episode. We apologise it wasn't ready for Wednesday, I've been ill, so we've obviously moved it forwards for the preview today for the massive game. Meg, how are you doing?
Morning everyone, really good, thank you. Looking forward to today's game. Like I said, Soph said, apologies it wasn't out on Wednesday, but we thought why not give you a little pre-match preview of the United versus Villa game today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm, as you can probably tell, I'm playing today, so I'm not at the game. However, I did go to the Villa game on Monday night, so I have seen a little bit of a glimpse of what they're about. But in general, are you feeling confident about today, Meg? I mean, I know it's hard to say confident at the moment when you're watching United. What's your predictions for today's game? Do you think it's going to be an easy one, or are we going to struggle?
I don't think it'll be easy. I think I'd be confident in saying that we should win. I'm not saying that just because we're Manchester United. I just think that the situation that we are in at the moment and the way that the result could go and what that means for the table, I think that there should be some desire and some fire in the United players. That is, and then if we do go and win, we're moving up the table. So for me, I know that they are workhorses. They don't give up. They've picked up results this season. But I think United really should be winning this game. If you look at just going off players on paper, I know that it's been a different story, but United win, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Obviously, we're at home, which I think gives us that bit of a boost. We came back against Sheffield United. Shocking first half. Well, 70 minutes. I was say first half. It was longer than that. Shocking first 70 minutes. We didn't decide to play at all. When we did decide to play, we scored 3 goals, and then as usual, we let it slip. But I think that the fight and the desire to come back was a positive to take from that game. Because I didn't see that comeback coming at all. We didn't look like we were going to create anything. So I think you have to take that positive out of that game. I know 3-3 against Sheffield United isn't an ideal situation, and that's not something we should be celebrating. But I think the fact that we came back and we showed that bit of desire, I'm hoping that we see a bit more of that fight today. I mean, we've got Levitt in the squad, and I know you've got a stat about Levitt in a minute that I'm going to let you share with everyone. But for me, he was fantastic the other night on Thursday. I thought he played fantastic in the middle. Him and Garner, I thought were brilliant centrally. He kept the ball well. He's a really promising up-and-coming player. And I hope that we get a glimpse of him today. I hope that we see him on the pitch at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Thursday, I think. So I know the result didn't go our way, and it is disappointing. I'm not going to sit here and say I was amazed by it, but the fact that he's gone and done that, I was sitting there on Thursday thinking, regardless of the performance that they put in today, this is not going to be the same team that we see on Sunday. We know that the first team is going to come back, but it was nice the fact now that Solskjaer's looked at it and seen kind of who's ready to make that step into the Premier League. Like you said, he made 104 passes on Thursday, which is, they've put it, it's 20 more than any other player on the pitch. So you can see how much the ball he had and how much he was trying to make things happen. And if you compare that, I've got it off my phone, so I apologise, I'm reading off my phone. If you compare that to Pereira and Fred, over the last couple of weeks, they haven't even made half of that amount of passes. 74 and 79 for Fred and Pereira respectively last week against Sheffield, but that is more than they've done in the past 4 games. So that was a real improvement for Fred and Pereira, and they're still 30 odd passes away from what Levitt had on the Thursday night. So I hope to see him. I don't think we'll see him start, but I think Villa, it is a must-win game, but it's a game that I think he could be introduced in against those players, against McGinn, against Grealish, who are workhorses. Have we got someone like Levitt who wants a desire to get on the pitch and show what he's about? So it might match them, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I was just having to think about Levitt. Obviously, he had a lot of the ball, a lot of passes, but he's playing against the star now. We have to take that into account, of course. In the Premier League, there's going to be a lot more pressure on him in the midfield. I've just seen a comment as well from Michael Jones. He says the midfield is the weakest part of the United squad. I think we'd all agree with that. They definitely are the weakest. To be honest with you, I think the United squad in general is very weak, but the midfield, especially with Pogba being in there, Fred, we're not sold on him at the moment, let's be honest about it. McTominay is the only player that we have been truly sold on. He's been injured of late. Is he going to come back and be the same player that he was before he got injured? Because he was in the form of his life. And I think that central area today is going to be massive. We've already mentioned the likes of McGinn. Grealish for me is a frustrating player. I know a lot of people rate him, and I'm not saying I do not rate him, but for me he needs too much time on the ball. I watched him on Monday, and I think if he was playing in my team, I would find him so frustrating. He had many occasions where he could easily get a shot off, but he likes to take that extra touch. And it does dictate things for Villa. And I think if we give him time on the ball today, then that will cause problems for us. We need to make sure we are pressing and we are tight, especially on McGinn and Grealish, because they are the two main key players. Levy, I don't think he will start, as you say. I think he may feature at some point. But I am hoping that we do see him in the first team shirt, because I think the other day he shocked a lot of people with his performance. It definitely surprised me. You obviously hear of his name and I've seen glimpses, but I think on Thursday night he was really, really impressive. A lot of people believe that today's game, if we lose it, could be Ole's last game, obviously with the recent sacking of the Arsenal manager as well. People believe that Ole will be one of the next ones to go after the Watford manager. So, Pankaj says, Soph, I think Ole is the right man. Everything takes time. The board over has to change its mindset or the structure of the club, and the club needs to change. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think that if we lose today, is Ole's time up?
I think if we do lose, yeah, it will be his time to go. It's one of those, isn't it? Like, if we sack him now, we're in the same situation as we have been in previous seasons, where we're going into a transfer window soon, and you're going to have a new manager wanting to bring signings in, hasn't really got a chance to assess his team. But then if you keep Ole and then decide to sack him after the window, it's pointless in my eyes. So what do you do? For me, it's a lose-lose situation. You can't. I don't feel you sack someone a month before transfer window, and when they could have a chance to address any issues in that window.
Yeah.
But if you sack him after the window, there's not much point. So, I don't really. I mean, I'm so undecided on the whole Ole in, Ole out. I think he has shown us that he is trying to go in some sort of direction. So he has got rid of some of the players that we've been discussing that aren't great.
Yeah.
However, on the pitch, tactically wise, I don't think he's there to be a Manchester United manager just yet. But what do you do? Do you risk it, or do you just keep going and hopefully something will, after the window, the dust will settle a little bit and we can start finding form? I don't know.
I think if you're looking where we are on the table right now, you have a right to be worried. Arsenal obviously sacking Emery. That now means that they're going to get someone in who's going to have the January transfer window to try and instill a bit of their purpose on the team. And I think that kind of does make us as a club panic a little bit, because we're thinking, oh, well, other teams are moving in the right direction. At the moment, we're stagnating. We're struggling. And I think the gap already between the top teams we already know is massive. And if we don't move for the times, we're going to fall further and further behind. Now, it hurts me to say that, because I've already said I don't think Ole is the main person to blame. I agree with Pankaj in that sense. But the manager always takes the brunt of it. You can't say that the way that we've been playing has been a bit concerning of late. I know we played kids on Thursday night, but we shouldn't be losing to Astana in my eyes, and we shouldn't be. And yes, we played the kids, and I'm happy that we played the kids, and I'm not saying Ole was wrong for doing that, of course I'm not, but I'm just saying that I think we are miles off the top teams. I think we are miles off, and if we do not move with the times, or something doesn't drastically change, then we're going to fall further and further behind. And at the end of the day, with Manchester United, I know we're not the class of '92, I know we're not the same team that we were under Fergie. However, we're still a massive, massive club, and this shouldn't be where we are on the table, regardless of who the manager is. We shouldn't be where we are on the table. And like I say, Arsenal are now going to get a new manager. We already know that Leicester, Liverpool, and of course City are miles above us at the moment. We should be up there. We should be up there competing. And at the moment, we don't even show any signs that we're going to get close to that. Which is why I think after today's game, it could be time up for Ole. It really could be. And I'm not saying that I'll be glad, or I'm not saying that I hope that happens. Of course, in an ideal world, we all want Ole to turn it round. We all want to see Ole getting up on the touchline, leading the players, making tactical changes that affect the game in a positive way. But I just don't think we've seen enough of that from him. People call him a glorified PE teacher. I think that's a bit harsh, but yeah, we all want a bit more from Ole.
I think I'm just looking at the table now. So if Villa win today, and Everton are also playing, obviously they've got a game in hand as well, they'll go joint level points with us. They're at the moment, they're sitting 16th and 17th in the table. So we can we could be going around, the same points as these teams who have had a terrible start to the season. If we win, we go up to 5th. Minus the fact if Wolves or Sheffield pull a result out, we don't know what will happen. But it's such a crazy table this year that, because so many teams have had bad starts, really looking at your team and thinking, if we had a good start, we'd be safely in that top 4. You know, I mean, there's a 6-point gap. If we'd had a good start, or we could you're not going to sit back and you never sit back.
Yeah.
But you could look and say, look where we should be. They're safely in there. All these teams have stuttered at the start, and now, including us, we're now 11th.
Yeah.
It's not good enough. It's not good enough.
No. I think as well, I think the United Stand tweeted this, and it's a really good point. Do we feel that the standard of the Premier League has dipped that much as well? Because you've obviously got the likes of Spurs, Chelsea could argue are underachieving, we're underachieving, Everton are underachieving massively. Is that a sign there that the Premier League standard has slipped as well? Because obviously you've got the top teams, City, Liverpool, even Leicester you could put up there. But other than that, everyone seems to be underachieving. Is that a reflection on the league as such as well? Is the standard and the expectations of teams in the Premier League dropping? I think that's a really good point.
I don't know if it's the teams as such. I think the players, these high-end, worldwide superstar players, have let their standards slip. So these players who are, you've got your likes of Sheffield United now. None of them are superstars, but they are workhorses. The Villa workhorses. Leicester, you can argue as well. They've got superstars, the ones that people are talking about week in, week out. But they've got players that will work and continuously work hard for you, and players that have gelled well. So I think really it's these worldwide superstars that we're talking about, these footballers. I'm not going to say that they are overpaid massively, but the ones that are on high-end wages, I think they've let their standards slip. I think they just think they can bruise a league now, and it's not the case. Yeah,
it's a good point. I'm going to read some of the chats as well. Hi to Brandon. Hi to Roberto. Thanks to Michael and Sully saying that we're speaking the truth. Alex says we must not play 3 centre-backs against Sheffield United. We were at our best once we went back to 2 centre-backs and conceded late in the game. I knew for a fact the second that Tuanzee became... the second that we made the change, when Martial came off, Tuanzee became on, the defensive change, straight away I knew we were going to concede again. We were playing into their hands, because if anything, I felt like we were going to go on and we were going to score more goals. And the second that we made that negative substitution, I think that did affect it, and that's where you have to question Ole. Of course, we didn't know Martial could have been completely shattered, he probably couldn't run anymore, and that's why Ole may have had to make the change. We did not know that. However, from the outside looking in, it looked like Ole was trying to shut up shop against Sheffield United when we were 3-2 up, and realistically, we looked like we were going to, because they were coming at us, we looked like we could have scored more goals on the counter-attack. And I do think that's one of the questions we have for Ole. Tactically, I think he got it wrong there, and it cost us the 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at that, you think, we threw that game at the end, we were winning. We were back in front. So it's a bad tactical substitution in my eyes. That's what like I said before. He had made progress in terms of, I think, off the pitch. Like I said, he's got rid of the players, but on the pitch, tactics-wise, I just don't feel he's up to a Manchester United standard. I do think his time will probably be up, but
yeah,
we're now, haven't we?
It's hard because you're blinded by love. I saw someone comment on it just saying, don't be blinded by love. But of course you are. He's a club legend. He seems like a lovely guy. He obviously loves the club. But you have to hold your hands up and say, no, he deserves to become under question because of some of the decisions he has made, because of some of the formations he's played, for example, playing Pereira out wide as such. Pereira even keep playing when he's been shocking of late. You have to question some of all his choices. But at the same time, I sympathise because he hasn't got a lot of players to choose from. He hasn't got a lot of quality to choose from. So I think he's always going to be in a bit of a lose-lose situation. You can never please everybody at the end of the day as a manager. And like I've already mentioned, even though I don't think it's solely his fault, he takes the brunt of it. He takes everyone's flack, everyone's stick it falls at Ole's door. And that's part and parcel of being Manchester United's club manager. That's what happens. A lot of people saying that we need midfielders. I completely agree with that. Whether we're going to get people in January, who knows? A lot of people saying, oh, go and get Maddison, go and get Kante in the chat as well. But not being funny, why are them players going to come to United? Why would they even consider coming to a club who were 11th in the table, who are struggling week in, week out, uncertain whether the manager's going to stay, when they're at clubs who could possibly realistically get Champions League this season? Leicester, I think, will be the closest team to Liverpool to push them for the league as well. So I think you have to have your hands up and say, you know what, we're not attractive to those kind of players anymore. And that's another realistic truth. It's horrible to think it, but the likes of Maddison, he wouldn't even look twice. Why would he come to Manchester United at the minute? People say money. He can get Champions League football at Leicester and guarantee he'll be on a fair whack as well. So I can't see players like that coming.
I don't think we'll get anyone. I don't think Leicester will sell anyone in the January transfer window to anybody. And I would be very surprised if they did. For us, we've got to be looking at I don't think any player from those top 4 teams will be coming towards us. I think we'd have to go probably from a different league, different country, bring players in, because I just don't see it happening in January, really. Like you said, why would you come to Manchester United at the moment? Why would somebody think that's the right club to be at? Because we lack in consistency. Top four, I mean, it's a big ask now, really. I know we're only halfway through the season, not even that, but I don't feel like we would probably make those points up. So you're looking at Europa League. If we could be looking at Europa League, we're not guaranteed it. You're not going to get teams from Champions League, I don't think, dropping down. Players from Champions League teams dropping down.
I want to say something there, it's going to be a bit controversial, but in a way, I don't think it's a completely bad thing that we're not going to get Champions League, because at the moment I think we've been scraping it and it's papering over the cracks. People think, oh, you know what, we're on the way back and all this, and then all of a sudden our expectations get shot back down again. And I think it's because, like we said, there's obviously deep problems at the club. And we'll get the odd decent result, and like I said, we'll scrape top four every now and again. And people think, or we'll win Europa, for example, and get Champions League. But again, it's papering over the cracks. Realistically, we're not a club who are a Champions League club at the moment. We are nowhere near that standard. I think if we're all totally honest with ourselves, we're nowhere near that standard. The clubs in the Premier League who play better football than us. Sheffield United play better football than us, and they have more deserving chances of being in the Champions League right now. And I think you have to be honest and say, look at United's style of play, look at the squad, look at the amount of average players we've got. We're not a Champions League club, nowhere near, and it papers over the cracks whenever we get it. However, you have to say, if you don't get Champions League, we're not going to attract players even more so, because that's a big selling point. So of course we need Champions League to be able to get the players in. But if you look at our team right now, we're not a Champions League team. We're not good enough to be that right now.
Controversial, so people are disagreeing with you.
It is controversial. I know it is.
I think it's a hard one. Like, everybody wants to play Champions League. It's great for the club as a whole. But would we go on and win it? Not in my eyes. I don't see that happening.
Maybe with a bit of help of VAR, but
I know cup competitions are slightly different to Premier League, but I don't see the team with the players that we've got at the moment challenging for a Champions League title. I think we are Europa League standard, as horrible as that sounds, but that's the level that we're at the moment. But of course, you'd love to be in the top four, regardless. But does that mean it's good for us? I don't know.
Yeah, I think if you're being honest with ourselves, the squad isn't strong enough for Champions League. Like I say, we're not going to win it. There's more chance of us winning the Europa League. We need Champions League. It's a conundrum, because we need Champions League to attract the players, obviously to improve, to get to the standard of Champions League football. It's an ironic one. But for me, we're just not good enough. And whether a change of manager would help us, obviously a manager we think should be attractive and get some players in. But I think before we start looking at that, we definitely need to improve our style of play. We need to improve. I think there's a mental attitude issue at the club as well. I think that when the going gets tough, I think we have a lot of players who hide, and I think that's been time for a few seasons now. It's not a coincidence that the same core group of players have failed several managers. And I think it's got to the point now where, yes, Ole is to blame for certain things, but the players have to take some of it. And massively, obviously, the board needs to take some flack as well. I think it's a wholesome problem that the manager's taken the full brunt of it. But I think in order to move, we do need to change the manager firstly, because things on the pitch need to improve. I'm hoping, like I've already said, in a realistic world, Ole is the guy. Ole can take us forwards, and maybe with some new players, some fresh faces in January, which I think is going to be unlikely, maybe we can see a difference. But I think the scouting, the board, everyone needs to become under question. Arsenal are now moving. They look like they're going to get a new manager in. Maybe it's time that we should start looking as well. And I'm not saying I'm fully Ole out. I've already said that. You're blinded by love. I love Ole, and I hope he turns it round. But I can completely understand why people think after this Villa game his time will be up, and I can completely understand why the club would do that as well.
I'm just looking at some of the chats here. Someone's just put, as a Juventus fan, RB Comps, as a Juventus fan, do you think we have a chance to sign Paul Pogba in January? For me, no. Yeah. I don't think we'll sell him. He hasn't really played for us this season, and therefore I think we will keep him. I don't think we'll get the right price for him.
If a decent enough price comes in for him in January, I think I can see him going. I think he's got more chance of joining Real Madrid, though, if I'm totally honest. He's been flirting with them for a while. The idea of playing under Zidane, I think, is something that attracts him. So I think he's got more chance of going to Real Madrid, if I'm honest. But I think there is a possibility that Pogba will be leaving in January. But it will be for some mad money. in my opinion, because he's not happy at the club. Like I say, he's been flirting with the idea of Madrid for ages. So Juventus, I think, yeah, it could be a possibility, but definitely I think Real Madrid would be the place. If he's going to leave United, that's where he will end up.
Yeah, agreed. What do you think the score prediction for today then?
So, score prediction for today, I think it's going to be a tight one. I think we'll concede again. I think if Lindelof's playing, Wesley could be a handful for him. That's why I kind of want Tuanzebe to play. Villa fans absolutely love Axel as well, by the way. I work with a few. So I hope Tuanzebe gets a nod, but I think Lindelof will play. So I'm going to say 2-1 United win is my prediction. I think Rashford will score again, and I'm hoping that AM9 bags as well. So 2-1 to United is my prediction. What about you, Meg?
I am definitely giving my prediction first next time, because I was going to go for a 2-1. But you know what it is. I don't like to do the same, so I will go for a 2-0.
Yeah.
And just pray our defence decide today is the day that we're going to keep a clean sheet. We're not going to concede. We're going to have a solid wall at the back. David De Gea is like the brick wall in the goal. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 to United. And I'd quite like to see Greenwood on the pitch at some point. So I know Rashford, Martial, they're in the team, and James. But I would like to see Greenwood get on the pitch and get a good amount of time. And see, I know James has got pace, he's pacey, but that's his thing. What can Greenwood do? Yeah. So, I'd like to see him on the pitch, but I'll go for a 2-0 win.
Yeah, I think decent prediction. A few people, Jake saying he wants Levitt to play. Me and Meg have already commented we'd like to see Levitt feature as well today. Brandon James, says United will lose. Jack Grealish and McGinn will score. Like I said, I think Wesley could be a handful, especially if we're playing Lindelof at the back. I don't fully trust us, if I'm honest, at the back. I don't fully trust us going forwards at the minute. That's the conundrum that I'm in as a United fan. James, I think, is obviously a big boost. He's rapid. Greenwood comes on against Sheffield United and scores. I think if we play the attacking players that came on when we got 3 goals against Sheffield, we could easily batter Villa today. Because going forward, I thought we looked fantastic. But then, like I say, if we're playing slightly defensive or slightly on the cautious side, then I think that Villa could cause us trouble. So, being at Old Trafford, I think they'll just nick it. But it's going to be a tight game. And as always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We apologise for the early start. I have got football today, so we've had to try and cram it in. But we'll be back as normal on Wednesday night. We're going to give you a Team of the Decade video. So me and Meg have got some thinking time ahead of that one. We're going to give our Team of the Decade. Meg, thanks for coming on. Sorry.
Thank you everyone for joining us. I know Sunday morning is probably some sore heads about from Saturday night. I mean, I haven't even gone out and I feel rough as air. So, but thank you all again for joining us. We'll see you on Wednesday. And I need some thinking time for this Team of the Decade. But thanks for all your chat and your comments. And as always, to Sophie from Sophie's channel. So like and subscribe to the video. She's have you made 8,000 subs yet, Sophie?
Not yet. We're close though.
But Jed, thanks for joining us, and I'll see you on Wednesday.
Yeah, thank you all, guys. As Meg said, hit that sub button, drop a like on the video. If we haven't responded in the chat, like I said, we do apologise. We don't do it on purpose. So drop a comment on the video after it's uploaded, and we'll definitely respond via that. Have a lovely Sunday. Fingers crossed for a United win today as well. I'm going to go off for my game. Fingers crossed for a kiddie win today as well. Meg, have a good one. Thank you so much. Cheers, guys.